Be the 1% man who, when he feels like quitting, he smiles, because he knows that everybody else would have. Today you will learn everything I did and how long I did it to get to my entry-level aesthetic body. After being that kid who wore the same black sweater every day, even in 30-degree weather, because he was just so insecure about his body. I'll tell you the mistakes I made, the things I learned, my mindset, how you can build that mindset, and my diet. All the information that I wished somebody had told me when I first started, and bro, that nobody, for some reason, nobody would tell me. So it's July 2nd, and I start with the first free fitness app I find on the App Store. It was called Lose Weight in 30 Days, and after I got to day 30, I just kept going back to day 21, to then back to 30, and just kept repeating the cycle. So I've been doing this app like every morning or every single day for the past 3 years, and it was called Lose Weight in 30 Days. Anyways, 2 months later, on September 24th, I got a skateboard and started skating for my birthday. Actually, my skateboard, it's right there. It's still holding up somehow. So I started skating, which meant I was jumping more and pushing up bigger hills, so that's more intense cardio, and I loved it. So I did it as much as I could, like every single day for like at least 30 minutes, except during the cold winter, because Canada's crazy. Fast forward a year and I start only taking rest days on Saturday and Sunday, so only weekends, and I'm still skating all the time. Fast forward another year, I get pissed that my max push-ups is 30 in a row, so for a week and a half, every single night before I went to bed, I would try to beat my previous record. First it was 32, because like I was really happy I got the 32 push-ups in a row, because 30, I don't know, I just got pissed. And then it was 45, then 50, then 100, then 300, then 400, and then 500. And I stayed at 500 for a couple of days, and then it was 600, and then it was 999. And I got pissed because I hit muscle failure at the very end, and man, I got so mad. Anyways, next day, I got to 1013 or 1017, I actually don't remember. I didn't do any more extravagant push-ups because it was actually just wasting my time, 1000 push-ups. And by the way, that sounds absurd because it, like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird number to imagine. Well, anyways, I didn't do it because it took an hour and a half to do. It was just a waste of time, and it wasn't worth the wrist problems or the capillaries in my nose exploding. I kept getting crazy nosebleeds. And that's one of the mistakes I made. You can push yourself a lot. That, I think I learned more about mindset during that than the actual physical muscle building. 1 month later, I started doing pull-ups and chin-ups every day, and that was like 20 plus of each. I say plus because I would always go for 22 and more if I could. And I stopped skating with the winter, and so I was still doing pull-ups. And bro, I remember being actually afraid to go outside because it was the winter, right? And I remember doing pull-ups and chin-ups in -40 weather, and I remember my hands cracking. And bro, literally a particular memory comes by when I was sitting on my couch. My legs were shaking, my hands were kind of shaking before I went out, because I knew that they were gonna get all bloody and cracked from the cold. So then it's springtime, I finally land my kickflip, and immediately on the same day, I crashed into my garage. And that was actually crazy. That was the first crash I had ever been in. Nobody wanted to take me driving for a long time. It took a while, but I did fix it myself. I still didn't trust the door, or I didn't want to test my luck with the door. That was the first time I ever fixed anything myself. I had to learn how to do that. So I stopped doing pull-ups and chin-ups because no other door in my house supported it. Then it's mid-March and I add Muay Thai, start doing Muay Thai 4 days a week, and that's actually very fun. And then I cut down to 3 days a week to maximize recovery and be able to push harder on the days that I really do go. I found that helped me a lot more. Then I turned 16, the age I am now, and I finally write down some fitness goals and study some anatomy. Currently, I'm doing my fitness app morning workouts Monday to Friday, and I'm doing 6.5 final planks at the very end of the workout, and I'm learning handstand push-up instead of the second plank in my ab workout. I'm doing dumbbells at night, every night, 22, sometimes 22 shrugs for traps, and lateral delt raises for delts, 1 arm overhead tricep extensions for triceps, and sometimes bicep curls. So now I'm doing Muay Thai 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. After my classes, I stay for 30 minutes and I do gym rings. I'm trying to learn the front lever and the strict ring muscle up. They just seem cool, so I want to learn those things. And I've actually just gotten my Gold's Gym membership. It's weird because I'm a newbie at the gym, even though I've started exercising, doing all my workouts after 3 years. So I'm going to be going Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. That's what I decided. Perhaps Saturday mornings too. We will see. And I'm going to replace going to the gym with the actual dumbbell workouts. These dumbbells over here, those, yeah. Now this sounds like a lot, and that's because it is. And I'm not trying to boast. I'm simply just telling you what I've done. And this is not the start point. It is just a point in the road of your journey. It's not necessarily going to be the same. So the point is not to push so hard that your mind is not ready for it. You only stop for a couple days and you quit, because your mind, it grows with your body. And as they both grow, so do your workouts. This is called progressively overload. So strategically, do something that you could reasonably see yourself doing every single day for the rest of your life. That is how you start exercising and get on the path to your aesthetic body. Naturally, you will be able to push more and progress more, because if you can do the same thing every single day for the rest of your life, you can always add more. And that's what's the beauty of it. You naturally progressively overload, do your workouts faster, and naturally you're like, oh, I want to grow this muscle, or I want to do this in a different way, or I want to do some other workout. Naturally, you will progressively overload if you just make that commitment for every single day of your life, of course including rest days. It all started with starting today and not tomorrow. All of my first workouts with the fitness app, they took 2 hours plus to complete. Really, 2 hours plus. And I promised myself not to quit. And I was serious when I told myself that. You need to be serious when you make yourself these promises, because truthfully, the only person that gets hurt out of you lying is yourself. And with the push-ups, I learned that it's more your head than your body. Your mind is very good at tricking you into thinking your body is actually reaching failure. But the truth is that your mind, it usually is the one that quits first, because your body will adapt. That is, again, if you really hit muscle failure and you actually end up falling, because that is a difference. Your actionable step for this section is to find the first free fitness app that you can find, or you can click the link on the description below and download the app that I used. Don't pay for anything and don't follow the diet advice. It is garbage. Trust me, I know. Just go from day 1 to day 30, and then after you get to day 30, go to day 21 and continue cycling to day 30, day 21, day 30, and then just keep going. Naturally, you will progressively overload and do it faster and faster. In preparation for this video, I remembered actually the first day that I had done my exercise. After I had just worked out, I was standing in my restroom and the door was open, and I remember in my peripheries, I was seeing the nice blue skies and the sunlight. I remember looking in the mirror, and for the first time in my life, even though I had not gotten any progress yet, before usually I kept seeing so much hate for my body, but I looked in the mirror and I had none, all love, because I made myself a promise. I will build a body I am proud of, and I don't know how long it will take, and that's okay. There will be days where I don't feel like doing this. There will be days where I feel like that I am tired and I won't want to put in the work and I won't want to show up, and probably days where I will mess up, and that's okay, because I'm going to build the body I am proud of, no matter how long it takes. And I've never skipped a workout, bro. Actually, simply just doing the work, that's the easy part, but your mind is the thing that gets in the way, and that's the tough bit. So this next section is on mindset. How did I go from little 9-year-old Daniel doing his 6-minute 6-pack ab workouts that he really thought would work and actually getting no results, 0 results, no results, and then quitting for weeks and then repeating the process to the Daniel I am today, the 16-year-old Daniel. Until the pain of staying the same is worse than the pain of changing, you will stay the same. The pain of inaction has got to be worse than the pain of action. And when you finally decide to make the commitment, just do and don't think. Your body is a reflection of your mind, especially of your discipline. I wasn't able to exercise consistently until I was 13 because I kept thinking first and then doing later. I found ambiguity in the process of exercising, and I would always question if what I was doing was the right thing or if this was taking too long and I just wasn't doing the right thing. Instead of thinking about how hard it is, just do it, because your mind will get in the way. The more you think, the more you think before you actually do the hard thing, the more limiting beliefs and more doubt you will get. Do now, act first, and then think later. And then when you do think later, all you will have are thoughts of accomplishment and happiness that you actually did the hard work. Know that there will be many days, in fact, most days, that you do not feel like it. And in those times of non-motivation and doubt, trust that this is a journey and that you will look back and you will be glad, just like how I look back and I am glad. This is how you create self-love, doing things not for yourself, but for your future self. How do you implement that and actually build your discipline with this information? It all starts with identifying as the effort you are putting into what you are pursuing. When you do this, even if you have a shitty workout routine, you will naturally progressively overload. Be the man who truly believes that he always does more than what's required. The man who, if he falls, everyone else has already fallen. Many people, like my younger self, will make the common mistake of relying on motivation to get their work done. That's flawed, and I'm going to tell you why. Motivation is a chemical in your brain that makes you want to do something because it feels good to have this chemical called dopamine. People think that dopamine is a feel-good hormone that is released because of just happiness and makes you happy, and that's kind of what it is. What people forget about dopamine a lot of the time is that it's also released during pursuit, meaning that you can trigger its release with your behavior. So even if you're not feeling motivated, you can still just show up. The motivation will create itself. It is crucial to remember that motivation does not affect or impair your ability to do something. You can always just show up and do, regardless of what these emotions or thoughts you have in your head are. You can want to work out and work out, or you can not want to work out, totally disdain working out, and still show up and do. That is why when it comes to discipline and willpower, you cannot trust your brain. You will always get the thoughts, I'm tired, I want to quit, I'm hungry. With time, you will get those thoughts less because they're useless and you're going to do the thing anyways. You overcome your brain with your identity. You overcome your brain with your identity. I have to repeat that because that's just so entirely important. In fact, the story you tell yourself about the man you are is the only way to overcome this low motivation, these low motivation ruts. All the thoughts that don't serve your mission, all of them, all the ones that tell you to quit, all the ones that are doubting you and your abilities, they only come from the present version of you that is afraid to die to make room to the person that you need to become in order to get the things that you want. Your actionable step for this section is to write yourself a document of the mindset of the person, the man that you need to become to get the things that you want. I've literally got this on my wall right now. It's one of those papers right over there. I think it's the third one. Yep. Write it in the first person and sign your name at the bottom. Place it on your wall. Read it to yourself every single day and make sure there is emotion. You must have passion with this. Without passion, nothing changes. And it's about triggering neuroplasticity, and emotion triggers neuroplasticity, as in your brain will rewire itself to become the man that you need to become to get the things that you want, because you need that vigor. Identity is how crazy people who do crazy things like David Goggins do it.
You see, it's about 3 o'clock in the morning. There's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car. There's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day.
When he says can't hurt me, he really believes it. So nothing can hurt him and nothing stops him. And this is how I do it. So up. I'm gonna run 10K to the sunset to my house just cause I can. You know, I've got a pinched nerve on my foot, by the way. You don't really know how you're gonna reach your end point, but if you just move and you don't stay in one place, get to your destination, you'll figure it out. Mwah. That's 10K just cause I could. I'm at home now. Oh, I smell crazy. I gotta eat a shit ton so I don't shrink. Cardio like this is not actually ideal. I truly believe that I will never give up. I just don't. That's just not how my brain is wired. So when I'm at Muay Thai, when I'm writing a test, when I'm creating my next YouTube video and I'm doubting whether or not if I'm doing things correctly, or if I'm maybe sounding too arrogant when I'm speaking about my exercise routines, because I don't really like talking about my exercise routine because I can help you in other ways, and that's not my place. I don't need people to know about my exercise routine. That's why I don't talk about it usually. I know I won't give up, and that is why I get the results I get. Through this understanding of dopamine and identity, I realized that I had actually been doing something accidentally throughout my first couple years or first couple months of exercising, and actually I still kind of do these things at certain different points. Basically, they're just things that make it funner to actually exercise and make you want to actually look forward for exercising. It's leveraging dopamine and using it as an actual fuel instead of a low rut, low motivation letdown. When you feel motivated, your dopamine, it skyrockets, and actually when it comes back, it returns to lower than the baseline. So if your baseline was here, it would skyrocket. That's great. You feel wonderful. You're so motivated, and then it actually goes down and lower. This is why a lot of people are not able to stay consistent with their exercise routine. Using this logic, I purposely don't use my iPhone for entertainment purposes. So meaning when I really want to feel motivated for something, let's say you want to feel motivated for exercising, you need to go on this almost dopamine detox where you need to not separate yourself and like totally shun yourself from happiness, but kind of just be more conscious of the things that skyrocket your dopamine, things that make you laugh super hard, because the more you get those things, the less the things that are like less funny will actually be funny. So me personally, I just like, I'll be watching a movie in class and I'll just be laughing so hard because, well, one, I'm not afraid to laugh, and that's kind of a flex, and two, it's just hilarious to me because I haven't seen anything as funny in a while. So when I really want to feel motivated for something, like I want to record this video, and I'm actually feeling so motivated right now, I don't know if you can tell, I optimize dopamine, and I'm feeling this way because, for example, in the morning workouts that I did, in the morning workout I did today, I didn't listen to any music, I didn't watch anything, I didn't listen to any podcasts. That is where I am now. And honestly, I much prefer combining discipline with motivation, because honestly, it's just funner. And I made this kind of mistake for a long time. I only solely relied on discipline, and while that's good, that's important because you need to build that skill, leveraging dopamine like this actually makes everything so much funner. If you're just starting, you can leverage dopamine by, one, associating the actual exercises as the goal and not what you were trying to achieve. So a lot of the time, people, they are only exercising it because they want to have an end goal. Me personally, I did not think of my end goal when I was exercising. I was just thinking, I'll just show up. Just showing up, that is the goal. And once you do that, exercising actually becomes fun, because once you do the exercise, you've shown up. After you exercise, you think, wow, I did it. I did a great job, and I'm happy that I did this. And two, dopamine layering. This is the kind of thing I was talking about before. You can add things to your workouts like music, like videos, like podcasts, or even coffee beforehand to have more energy to exercise. And what this does, it will release dopamine. So the funner you make your workout, the more you want to actually work out. It sounds really easy, but it's necessary to mention, because it really is the effectiveness of making hard work fun will make you outwork anybody in terms of even this physical stuff or any other work that you do. Now, you need to be careful with doing this too much, because you don't want to have all the other things in your life not really feel as fun, or you don't want to actually make your dopamine spike and then go back lower than baseline, so that the things that you do usually, they're just not fun. Because if you always laugh so hard when you're doing your workouts, or you're always like watching something very interesting, soon what will happen is that dopamine, you will have a higher baseline. And when that happens, everything is not the same, and then you won't be able to actually exercise without the music. You won't be able to actually exercise without all these things that you've added. So you kind of have to be selective when you layer. Some people, what they do is they'll flip a coin. Me personally, I never did that. I simply just watched self-improvement videos while I did it, and I always kept learning new things, so I was fine. Just watch my videos, bro, no worries. So yeah, be careful if you do it too much though, because you might spike your dopamine and then have a new baseline. Back to this document, you write, it's cool and it's beneficial. Affirmations are nice, but also affirmations and this kind of thing, affirmations are lame unless you make evidence, because when you make evidence, you transform just words on a paper that don't mean anything into reality. You need to bring what you say into reality, and this takes humility, knowing that you are lacking and being okay with that, because you're gonna grow. As you read this paper, think of the times throughout your day where you truly made evidence for the things that you write down. And if you can't think of anything, don't really get angry. I mean, you can, but love is the way. Just put the intention that you will make evidence, just because you just put the intention in your head, and you'll be open to the opportunities that you get to actually prove yourself and make that evidence. For example, sometimes when I'm at Muay Thai and and it's really hard or something like that, in my head, this sentence just keeps repeating, if I fall, everyone else has already fallen. And then later, when I read that document, I have another piece of evidence, because I remember I did not fall. All right, next up is diet. As you build your mindset, the diet actually becomes so much easier to follow. And the diet is actually very important, because it does make a huge difference to how you feel and how hard you can push yourself and how fast you recover. So imagine me 12 years old and my man boobs are jiggling when I'm running because I'm just chubby, and I taste blood too when I'm running. Shoot, I was tough. I wanted to lose weight. Well, I wanted to lose fat, and I knew that diet was important, but I actually didn't know anything about it. So I made a terrible mistake when I actually did start when I was around 13. I ate less. I lost fat and muscle. I just did not look healthy. It was actually sad. You know what's even sadder, and I'm kind of just being a little bit, I'm a little bit sharing right now. I hope that's okay. I was actually developing an eating disorder. So not only was I not eating much, but I actually started to puke out my food a lot of the time when I ate. And that's not very good at all. Not good at all. So I started feeling dumber throughout the days. Simply, I just had less energy because, nutritional deficiency, you're not eating. And I had mediocre workouts. So I was not really making progress to do those things because even though I'd put all my energy into my workouts, it was still not the right amount. I did not eat enough. And when I did, I was not eating the right things. How you feel, how much energy you have, and how your body looks and how it responds to your fitness training is directly correlated to your diet. And it's optimized through your hormones. And depending how much muscle mass you want and how lean you want to be, depends on bulking and cutting. Now, there are 5 types of bulking and cutting. I guess 5 types, the types I've figured out as I've been working or around. The first one is dirty bulking. That's eating anything high calorie like burgers, donuts, ice cream, junk food, all that bad stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, never dirty bulk. That is not a good thing. Don't do this ever. You feel worse. You actually smell worse because your sweat. Your body tries to sweat out all the bad stuff, and you don't look as good actually when you do cut down. And now partially the reason for this is because you get this thing called the visceral fat. Now not only you get fat around here, but this is the bad kind of fat. The fat that's under your abs that are pressing, contorting, bro, your organs. And that is the one that is actually dangerous. And that happens when you dirty bulk. So do not dirty bulk. It is bad for your health and you will have long-term problems. The next type is actually clean bulking. Now this one's valid. Is basically just eating more of the good food, which I will tell you what that is, what good food is. Basically eating more carbs. A lot of the time people, they keep their protein intake the same and they just eat more carbs, and that helps. With clean bulking you have more energy and you feel better and you feel less gross, I've noticed, and you get more lean muscle mass. Of course you still gain fat because you're eating more. Next up is unhealthy cutting. Now that's the one I was just describing before. That is not eating enough. That leads to nutritional deficiencies where you feel like horrible energy. You just feel terrible all the time. And you lose your muscle, all your muscle, and you lose some fat. And that's worse because you actually lose more muscle than fat in my experience, because your body starts retaining more fat and starts feeding off the muscle because that's just what it needs. And then there's healthy cutting. Healthy cutting is cool because you're just eating a bit less and you're avoiding carbs and you're having zero sugar. And some people, what they do is they do a calorie deficit of 100 calories or 200 depending how they want, how quick they want it. The thing is, me personally, I have never tracked calories because I just find that I don't know how people have the time to do that. I understand maybe if you're taking things a little bit more seriously. Me personally, I just want to feel good and be healthy and be strong. So I gauge hunger in this case. And then there's the best and aesthetically favorite, lean bulking. It's valid, bro. It's valid. That's no sugar. And when you do have sugar, only have it from fruits. And that's even in moderation. You don't want to have too much fruits because you end up actually getting a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar in fruits. And then there's no processed foods. And when I say no processed foods, I mean, if you look at the ingredient list in anything you eat, and if you read something and you couldn't recognize it in your hands as a tangible object, then don't eat it because it's bad for you. It probably has some chemicals or some compounds that are killing you. And then I do low carbs for focus, and you actually want to eat carbs actually later in the night because what it does is it makes your glucose levels go higher, so then you're less sharp, and then you do need carbs for energy. So when you have lower blood sugar, your brain is a lot more sharp and you're smarter. It's just something I learned throughout the times. And so you do want to have your carbs, but you want to have them at night. When you're lean bulking, you want to have less carbs than what you usually would. And you need to gauge that for yourself. While I wish that it was something I could tell you exactly. For me, I just don't eat many carbs. And when I want to gain more muscle, I eat more carbs. That's it. Next up is you want to have a bunch of protein. You want to have high protein. That means 1 gram per pound of the body weight that you want. So let's say I wanted to I'm right now on 175 pounds. If I want to go to 200 pounds, I would have 200 grams of protein every single day. Honestly, me personally, I'd probably want to have more to go quicker, but that's just how it is. And then there's fat. So me personally, I don't worry about fat because cholesterol is the building block of testosterone. However, my philosophy is, again, nothing processed. And also eat the good fat. That means fish fat, avocado fat, olive oil, butter. Of course, butter is a little one of those iffy things that there's different studies between if it's good or bad. Me personally, I believe it's good, but I will choose olive oil first. And stay away from the bad fats. That would be like chicken fat or seed oils. Supplements. So the supplements I take, and keep in mind that this is a lot. I just want to say that now, and I will bring back to that idea that this is a lot. So the first one I take is 3 2,500 IU tablets of vitamin D3, 2 in the morning and 1 at night. This is good for mood and testosterone. And then there's 1,000 milligrams of omega-3. This is also good for mood and testosterone. And the interesting thing about omega-3, when you take 2,000 milligrams, and the reason I don't take 2,000 milligrams is because I already eat fish throughout the day. But when you take 2,000 milligrams or more, there are different things within the different compounds within the fish oils, the fish fats, omega-3, that actually are similar to the effects of antidepressant. In fact, when people take omega-3 supplements, there were these studies that concluded they didn't actually need to take as many antidepressants because it was a natural mood boost. So I find that this supplement is very important, especially for your joint health and for your veins. And then I also take 1 tablet of zinc with added vitamin C at night. This increases chemical reactions within the body, so you actually, you grow muscle more and you get better with dealing with sickness. It's good for your immune system and recovery. I don't know if I said that already. And then protein powder, easy, just helps you get to the 1 gram per pound of body weight you want. And then I also started taking magnesium L-theanine. This helps with sleep, muscle recovery, testosterone production, and a calm alertness. I was actually going to take magnesium L-threonate or bisglycinate because it does have good effects, like it helps you with sleep and focus in different ways because it crosses the blood-brain barrier in different ways. It just increases your smartness, I guess. So I was really looking into that one, but I haven't tried it yet, so I will let you know when I do. I also have 4 Brazil nuts for proper thyroid function. Now, the thyroid is important because it regulates your hormones, so it makes sure you have the right amount of testosterone and estrogen. Yes, you need estrogen also, the right amount for you as an individual. This is a lot, and I just want to pause there because I'm speaking really quickly because I'm very honestly passionate about this, so I'm actually surprised that I haven't talked about this as much within my YouTube channel. Don't worry about these kind of supplements yet, and if I was just starting out, I would focus on just exercising, literally just exercising. In fact, the diet and the sleep. And if I had to take just 1 supplement, just 1, I would take vitamin D3. And even then, I could just rather just have sunlight. Supplements are something that you add as time goes by. And also, by the way, I rank these supplements in order of priority. So when you do want to add, it's order of priority. So you're good. Next up is avoid estrogenics and androgen disruptors. Androgen disruptors. I feel like I did not say that right. I totally butchered that. Different foods have compounds that mimic the effects of estrogen in your body. And many foods and things you come in contact with are androgen disruptors, meaning that they are male hormone, testosterone killers, ball shrinkers, skinny neck creators. Bro. Avoid foods like soy and dairy products. And I can't give you a full list, but this is an actionable step for you. It's just something that you learn as you go. Your actionable step is whenever you're eating a new food and you remember what I've just told you, simply search up is blank the food you're eating estrogenic, and you will get a quick and simple answer from Google. Safari, I use Safari. As for the things you come in contact with, stay away from chemicals altogether. And that means like chlorine in pools, because that totally kills your testosterone. And chemicals in hygiene products, like chemicals and parabens within soap. You want to try to be as natural as possible. Cavemen weren't exposed to that. And also, stay away from plastic. Anything that is bad for the environment is bad for you. Plastics have bisphenol A's, BPA's. And basically, that's a compound that acts as estrogen in the body and is one of those androgen disruptors. Avoid touching plastic, and especially when it's warm, because these BPA's, they go into your skin, they seep into your hand, and they mess up your hormones. When you do touch plastic, because you will, because you can look around right now and think of like 10 different things all around you that are made of plastic, probably even 10 different things of different colors. So when you do touch plastic, avoid cleaning your hands with an alcohol-based soap or hand sanitizer altogether, because when you do clean your hands with that, it actually makes the effects of BPA's 100 times worse. That's not just like 1 times, 2 times, 3 times. That's 100 times worse, and that is bad. And dude, not to scare you, your underwear is probably made out of polyester or elastane. And bro, I feel bad for your balls, bro. Get some cotton underwear. Do as much of this stuff as you can. You can always add more, so don't worry about doing everything at once. The last thing you want to do is add all of these things and then realize, oh crap, this is too much, and then end up quitting. Don't worry about doing everything at once. When you aren't ready for it, and then quit. I'm covering everything I've learned. It's been 3 years. I learned about this stuff and applied this stuff gradually, and that is the same thing you need to do. Have the humility to know that you probably can't do all of this yet. And that's okay. That's totally okay, because you're going to put in the work and become the man that can. I remember in the beginning, and I was doing really good in my diet, and I would go somewhere, then I would be offered some food that I actually did really want. Like, let's say, I don't know, ice cream cake. That's valid. I would be offered these unhealthy foods and I would feel rude declining. It was tough because I would be doing really good with my workouts and being really good on my diet, and then I would ruin it by eating the bad food. In those times, and this is something I had to figure out, say, oh, sorry, I don't eat that stuff. I really appreciate it though. Literally say exactly that. If they get offended, whatever. They're not really helping you on your journey, and whatever, that's on them. They won't actually pressure you if you say the words, I don't. Because when you say the words, I don't, it basically, it's different than saying, oh, I'm trying not to. I'm just on a diet. Because they will say to you, oh, it's okay. You've probably been doing great. You deserve a little treat. The feeling you get after you eat it and you actually feel bad about yourself, that's just not worth it. I realized I actually tricked my brain into not even wanting to eat that stuff because I just enjoy the fact that I didn't eat it, because I feel better about myself after. It's just the truth. And as for the things, I'm so crazy about hormone stuff because, bro, and this is again being a little personal, I have this thing called gynecomastia, as in when I was younger, like a lot younger, I don't know, like probably like 11 or something like that, or maybe even 12, my hormones were so up that I actually developed a little bit of breast mass, and this happens apparently with like 50% of guys. Perhaps we can go into different arguments to do, oh, it's modernity, maybe whatever, whatever. In my head, it's to do with all the plastic and all of the androgen disruptors, all the estrogenics that we come in contact with. So I take my hormones very, very seriously. If you know me at all, it's kind of like a running joke with my family that I'm so just intense about plastic, and I really don't want to get anywhere near that, because when I actually did stop putting all these estrogenics around my life and I actually worried about optimizing my hormones, I ended up like getting faster recovery times. My mood also went better, and you're able to stay so much lean so much easier when you have higher testosterone. So it's just cool because you also just gain muscle mass faster. So what's next? I'm just gonna list as many random pieces of advice as I can think of, and no particular order. Let's do it. It doesn't actually matter what time you exercise, it just matters that you exercise. But I did find that it made more sense to exercise early and wake up early in the morning, because nothing actually gets in the way after you do that. I do the fitness app in the morning, and I do Muay Thai and weightlifting closer to night. I wouldn't recommend that unless you could actually fall asleep very, very easily, because sometimes it makes your heart race and your adrenaline pump, and some people may find that that's hard to go to bed. Your mind grows with your body. Your mindset grows with your body. So as you keep going, I mentioned this, you will progressively overload. Next up, eat. You are meant to eat a ton when you're young. Bulk now, because recovery is faster and it's easier to put on the muscle. The person who gets the most muscle is the person who is not afraid to eat. Once you get some results, you will actually enjoy working out because it's doing something. Remember, it's always doing something even when you don't see results. Remember, when you were exercising, that you were actually doing something, not for you, but for your future self. And he loves you for doing that. Also ask people where you were lacking, because this is part of that humility aspect. This will help you fast track your progress. For example, like a couple weeks ago, reason I started doing tricep extensions is because you see my triceps, they're mid. They're mid. Biceps are all right, but all the rest of my arms, mid. If you are sore, you can still push. One day I went to Muay Thai, and the day before I had exercised really hard with my dad, and I could barely extend my arms. And then the adrenaline kicked in, and I actually felt better than I did before I went exercising. So that does help because it helps break down, I believe it's the lactic acid that's built up in your muscles. So moving actually does help you when you are sore. If you're insecure, don't or rarely weigh yourself, and don't look in mirrors. Or if you do look in mirrors, if you ever have like a negative thought, just look away. It's okay. At this point, when you're first starting, sometimes having humility, you need to be just mindful of it, but also when you're really insecure, you don't want to think. Remember, do now and then think later. Remember that your journey will be different than mine because you have different challenges and goals. Keep in mind that the V taper, as in I don't even know if you can tell from here, but imagine the V that somebody will have, that is usually aesthetically a good idea to keep in mind when you're exercising, because the V-taper is just, I think everybody can agree the V-taper is generally just enjoyable to look at. You want to have more than 8 hours in bed because, 8 hours in bed is not the same thing as 8 hours sleeping. So usually if it takes you like, let's say 30 minutes to fall asleep, you want to have 8 hours and a half in bed. If you really want supplements, get a job. If you mess up on your diet, it only takes 2 to 4 days to get your 6-pack back. That's something actually nobody ever really mentions, but once you actually do have abs, even if you mess up on your diet, you can get your abs back in just a couple days. If you want to bulk, a good time is in the winter. Again, this is also if you're a little bit insecure. Nobody will really see your body in the winter, so if you're insecure and you want to put on a bunch of muscle, you want to bulk and you don't know when the right time is, do it in the winter. I found that was a little bit good when I was a little bit more insecure. Now I don't care. I just breathe and whatever. Anyways, eat what makes you feel good. Listen to your body and react when you feel that this food, it made your mind more clear, it made you have more energy. Part of this journey is really listening to your body and knowing when certain things happen and when other things don't, and just being conscious and being ready to change. All right, that's what I could remember. So this is everything I've learned to achieve my current physique and stature as of 2024 and being 16 years old. We covered workouts and everything I did to get to the place I am now. I gave you an actionable step to use the app I used when I first started in the description below. Remember, it does not matter what you do, just do something. You just need to start and push. Remember, start today, not tomorrow. We covered mindset, diet, hormone optimization, and as your last actionable step, because we covered so much, if I were you, I would save this to my watch later and then rewatch the sections I would be trying to implement daily so that it becomes second nature to me. This is what I actually did years ago when I first started. I kept watching YouTube videos. At any time I found a little blip of information, I would rewatch it. I would just totally internalize it and apply it immediately. I would watch and rewatch the same videos during my workouts, and this actually released dopamine, so it's another idea of dopamine layering. This will help you learn and stay consistent. And when you do rewatch this video, I actually ordered it in order of implementation, but also especially focus on the mindset section, because you need to grow into the man that you need to become, and it is crucial. That is the 80% task of your success when it comes to fitness. It is mostly your mind. It's a lot more your mind than your body, I will tell you that. Some boys will hear this message and they will get angry, they will get pissed, and they will actually actively dislike me downright for saying the simple tasks and hard work it takes. Boys like that, they will not see progress. But growing young men like you will look at another growing young man like me speaking like this, with this almost high ego and possible overconfidence, and some would admire it, and they'll be thinking, man, this guy really put in the work, and you know what, I will too. And those are the men that see progress, and those are the men that have my respect. Bro, the channel's been really growing these last couple videos, and I'm really glad to see you're getting more and more value out of the content I'm putting out. And if you got value out of this video, just do me a favor, and the next time you hear somebody talking about how they want to upgrade their body or get more in an aesthetic body, just send them this video. That would really support me, and I'd love to see more men on this path. I actually didn't want to call this video How to Get an Aesthetic Body, because I thought it was kind of weird to say that and use yourself as an example, because, for me, there's so much room for improvement. I just know that title is probably something I would have searched up years ago when I first started. Remember this high ego bit? Remember, just all the time, all this body that you can build, it's all irrelevant if you forget about your integrity and you forget about the one who you are. Everything else is secondary to that. Always focus on your integrity first, because you can just become a monster, and you never want to let that happen. So I know you feel motivated right now, because bro, I'm low-key like pumped up, man. I don't know, I'm so pumped up. I literally just spit all over you, bro. I'm sorry. I know you feel motivated right now, but you haven't done anything yet. Start today, not tomorrow. Act first, do now, and think later. That's it. By the way, this comment is the reason why this video has been made. And oh man, so much love to that guy. So much love to that guy. I love you, bro. And you watching, man, I love you so much, bro. And you are gonna have so much fun implementing this, and you're gonna have so much fun on your journey. Trust me. It's all love. It doesn't need to be from a place of pain. It's all love. I love you, bro, so much. Mwah. 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 Wow, 3 kisses. Look at you. My girlfriend's gonna be jealous.